In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a simple animated mega dropdown in React using just React and CSS, no any kind of framework or library. So in the course of this video, you learn some important concepts in React like component composition, hooks, events, building reusable components, and how to apply CSS transition to a component based on changes in state. So without wasting much of our time, let's take a quick look at what we'll be building in this tutorial. You can see our top black bar here with 3 button links, and then when we click on the service link, you see the drop down slide in from the top into its position, and also when we click the service icon, it slide back. You can see the entry and the exit animation effect. We'll be building this using just CSS, and so you can see the different HTML elements that we put in the drop down list of links and wherever you want to put. Alright, so we've been doing this just with CSS and React, nothing much. So without wasting most of our time, let's dive straight into coding. Kindly head over to your terminal or your command line tool. I'm using getbash. You can use your Windows or your Mac command line tool, and navigate to the folder where you want to put your project and run the nps create react app with the app name. I've already done that, so I've created an app called dropdown app. So once you do that, open it in your code editor. You can use any code editor of your choice. I'm using Visual Studio Code, so I've done that already. And heading to our code editor, I've cleaned up the React app that was created. I removed some of the files that we don't need, like the service workers, the test files. I've deleted them, we don't need them. And I clean up the app.js file. So we're going to be starting from scratch. Just quickly head over to the source folder. Create another folder called component. Okay, this is a folder that's going to hold all our components. So from our demo, we have a top navbar with 3 links. So we're going to create a navbar component, navbar.js. This is going to be the components for the navbar. Alright, so I have an extension installed in Visual Studio Code, which is known as the ES7 React Redux extension. This will allow me to create React component boilerplates by simply writing some keywords. RFC, this will give me a class-based component, or RFC give me a function-based, ES6 function-based. Alright, so that's that. I'm going to make here nav. So this nav, I'm going to give it a class. In React, we use class name, not class like in HTML. That's the only difference, because React uses GSS, a syntax that is kind of similar to HTML. So in the nav, we're going to have a UL, and then we're going to give this also a class name. Call it let's say navbar name that pleases you. Okay, but the navbar component we just created into app.js, because it's not a default export, so we're going to use put it in the curly brace. So here we're going to import the navbar from. Alright, okay, so this navbar components, we're going to pass in the navbar items as a props. So it's going to take in props. Props in React is a way for us to share data among different components. especially from parents to child component. So it's a way for us to share states in React. So this we're going to pass in a props. Props has a property called children. So we're going to be rendering the um, element that is passed, any kind of element, maybe heading or whatever element that will pass in between this navbar tag will be rendered as the child or the children of the props of the navbar component. So if we save this, and here between these navbar tags is where we're going to put in the navbar item. So we're going to create another component now uh, inside the component .js. Okay, it is also going to be a function based component. Alright, okay, so this navbar item, which is going to be the child of the navbar and component and the navbar tag, we're going to be placing here as the navbar tag. Remember, in the navbar component we already have a UL, so what's supposed to pass in as children is going to be a list tag. So here, instead of div, we're going to change it to a list. Okay, so this, then let's call it nav link or nav whatever, and here we're going to pass an a tag. It's going to be the link. I'm going to give it a class also of, let's say, okay, let's call this nav link and call this nav item, sorry. Alright, so we'll come to the navbar and the app.js. We're going to import the from dash component and navbar item. Alright, so we are passing this. Alright, okay, so that's why we pass in the navbar and component, that will pass the pros.children. So whatever it is, whatever is rendered in between the navbar tag is rendered as the children of the navbar component. So that's why we're doing that. Also in the navbar and in the nav item, we're also going to pass props also. So we're going to pass in props, and these props, yeah, we're not going to be passing the children property, but we're going to be passing our own custom property, which is called, let's call it props.link. We're going to create it in a second. The nav item component, it's going to be the individual links button in the navbar. So we can reuse this component now by simply copying and then repaste here. So for, I remember the name of the nav item which you are supposed to pass in as the props, and then yeah, we're going to pass a props here called link, which this can take in anything. It can be an icon, while you have an SVG icon, you can use an SVG icon, but for now we're going to be passing a string as a props, which is going to be the name of, sorry, string, going to be the name of the this is going to be services, and here also I'm going to take in the props, which is also going to be another, let's say, portfolio. Alright, okay, these are the three items in the nav: the first link, the second link, which are individual components. I have some style predefined already, so it will quicken our pace of tutorial. I define some generic style, with some CSS variable for the background color, background secondary, text color, and a border. So I created a generic style for the UL, which is just normal and CSS, and also for the link, generic style for all links. So what we're going to do right now is the style for navbar class, and also for the navbar dash menu class. It's supposed to be a class. So give it a height of 60 pixels. Give it a background color. We're going to use our variable. For a background color, we're going to give it a padding of 0, 1 rem. Give it a border bottom, which is also going to be our variable for border. Okay, that's for the nav link. That's for the nav bar. So for the nav menu, also we're going to give it a style so of mass width of 100%, height of 100% also. Want to take 100% of the parent container, which is the navbar, and also we're giving it a display flash. Flash justify content center. So we are specifying a color, which will be a variable. So I want to take our test color. Alright, so these are the style for the nav menu, and also let's just create style for in our nav item. We have a nav item and nav link, so let's quickly add up style for that. And also we create style for these are just basically CSS. You can actually do this yourself. Maybe I should just copy and from the demo and paste to save our time. Right, so for the nav item, basically just give it a weight of 180 and then make it display flares also. Justify content center also. Then align items center also, because we want it to be at the center. Want to kind of center 0 top and bottom 1 rem. That's this a link here. Here's it again. Let's double check. Then we can give the nav link. Oh, it's nav link, not nav bar, and also nav item. Okay, yeah, we're gonna give it a padding of 5 pixels, top and bottom, 10 left and right. Give it a margin of 5. Set the outline to none. Give it a font size of 1.4 rem. And then also display flex. Also justify content center. Go to capitalize. Set the background color to our secondary color. Okay, I think we're gonna have a transition. Give it a filter 300 milliseconds. Okay, let's quickly create the over. We're going to set the filter brightness, so let's say 1.2. 1.2. Let's start our app by saying npm start. Oh, okay, this is not what we actually expected. I guess there's an error somewhere, so let's quickly review our code. Okay, let's head over to, alright, I think I get the error. Here we are having the class name is navbar nav, and I think we are calling it navbar menu here, so that should be the error. Let's change it over to navbar nav and save it. Let's refresh. Okay, alright, I think we have our navbar with our navbar links already, the navbar component, the drop down component. Alright, one of the reasons why we actually made the individual links a separate component is simply because we may decide to create a drop down for maybe more than one of the nav links. So for that, the drop down is going to be a child of any of the nav item that we are passing into this navbar. So here we're going to close it. Yeah, so we are going to pass the drop down component that we'll be creating in a short while as a child of the navbar item component. So in the navbar item component, we're going to receive a props here. So we're going to define a div. We're going to give it a class name of menu. Let's call it menu. Alright, so here we're going to pass the drop down component that we're creating very soon as the children of these props. So we're going to say props to children. Alright, so remember, whatever we pass in between the tag here is going to be rendered as the children of the component. So if we pass in the drop down component that we'll be creating very soon as the children of the navbar and item, it will be rendered here. Alright, so that's that. We save this and then come here, we'll create another component now. We'll call it drop down menu .js. Okay, this is also going to be alright. Okay, so this is the component that we want to render here as a child of this navbar item. So we're going to give this a class name of drop down. Okay, so we're going to import the drop down. Let's import the drop down components we created. Okay, so we're going to nest it here. Alright, so we are nesting the drop down here, not drop down component, as a child of this drop down item. Okay, so in this drop down menu, it's going to have its own drop down item. So we're going to create another component also, which we're going to call drop down item. Also going to be a class based function. It's going to going to be a function class function based view, sorry, function based component also, and this is going to give you the class name. I'll just call it drop down item. Alright, so this drop down item, we're going to import it into the drop down menu. Alright, so we're going to nest it here, and then as the content of the navbar item as props of the children of the navbar item. So we'll go to the navbar item, also passing props, and here we're going to say same to props the children. So the content of the drop down menu is going to be coming from the props of the drop down. So whatever any kind of heading, we have some dummy test, let's say. Alright, so because our drop down menu is going to be holding, like, let's say a couple of items, let's say like 3 or 4 items, so we can reduce this drop down item components by simply copy and then pasting. Let's say like 2 more times. So this is going to be the item 2, the third item for now. So your drop down item can hold different so to save our time, I'm going to quickly pass in the copy the items, the drop down items from the demo we have, and paste them. So we also create a style for the drop down class and the drop down item class. Alright, to save our time, I quickly copied some dummy tests into a navbar item. So here's an H4 heading, a paragraph or some text, and here we have a H4 also, and some link and other list with some list and link inside. And here we have an image. I'm placing an image here with also an heading, with another heading also. You can see the image container. I give the class of support image. Alright, so I imported the image for wherever location. So import your own image also by placing a folder of the image in here in our source folder. Alright, that's for that. And for the CSS also, I also copied along the style to save time. So we created a style for the drop down class. We have it a position of absolute, top 58, and width also by background color. These are just CSS styles. Also for the drop down items, display flex direction. Alright, so if you actually want the CSS, I will leave a link to my GitHub repository where you can get the source code. Alright, that's for the style. So once we save and then we save our file, and also there's one error I corrected here, was the navbar item is a default export, so there's no need for us to put in a curly brace, so also take note of that. So once we come to our browser, you can see the how to toggle the hide and show the drop down menu. Okay, so how we're going to do that now, let's quickly come over to our app.js, and you can see that the drop down menu is a child of one of the drop down item in the drop down in the navbar. So first of all, when the page loads, when the app loads, we don't want to see the drop down menu. So for that, we are coming over to the drop down item menu is the children of the pros of the drop down item. So we don't want to show when the page just load. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a conditional check here. Alright, we're going to create a state. So I'm going to import use state. a very simple state here that we're going to create, and then using our ready structure we can call it open and set open. Because we use state on our default state, we hold a boolean value which is going to be false. Alright, so what we want to do is this: we want to show the children of this pros based on the state. So when the state is true, the children of the pros will be shown. When it is false, we don't want it to show. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a ternary operator here that's going to check for the state. When the state is true, we want to show the children of the props. Else we don't want, we want to show none. Alright, save this and we'll go back to our page. You can see the drop down menu is no longer showing. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we're going to create an on-click handler here. I think yes, in the list we're going to set an on-click event handler, which is going to take in an arrow function. Remember what this on-click handler is because what we want to do is that when this link is clicked, we want to show the drop down. So, and for us to show the drop down, we have to change the state to true. So, and we have a function that can do that, which is the set state. So we're going to call this set state. Set state, sorry, that's for class-based component. The open set open function, and what we're simply going to do is going to give us an inverse of the state. Alright, so what we are simply doing here is we are creating an on-click handler to like toggle the state. Alright, so and we are saying when the state is true, the children of the pros should show forth, and when it is false, nothing should appear. So we'll save this and we'll head over to our browser. You can see when we click, our drop down appears. So when we click again, it goes away. What's happening here is simply we are changing the state. So when we click it, the function changes the state to true and the drop down menu appears. So when we click again, the state is changed to false again and the drop down menu is normal. What we're going to do now, we're going to add the transition effect, and we're going to do that using a package called React transition group. It's a popular package for us to create different CSS transition based on the state change. So we're going to install that now by going over to a terminal. Just quickly quit your server with Ctrl C, Command C, and then let me clear this. So we're going to run the npm install react dash transition group. I guess that's the name. Okay, package for us. And group has finished installing. So the React transition group will help us control the condition logic for rendering the drop down menu and transiting when it is added or removed from the DOM. So once we install it, we import a component from the React transition group, which is the CSS transition. Alright, we import the CSS transition from the React transition group. The current component that we want to animate as a child of the CSS transition, so which is this menu, or which is the props and the children of those props. So we're going to wrap in the CSS around these the props of these children, the children of this component, sorry, All right. So we're going to wrap the children of this process with the CSS transition components that we imported from the React transition group, and this CSS transition takes in a props which is in. What this props it does is it render the animated children of this CSS transition group based on a truth value that is passed to it, which is going to be the state of our app item component, which is the open. Alright, so what this int takes is always takes in a truth value, which is going to be the condition for the CSS transition to render the child, or which is the children, which is this current div with the menu. So this is the children of the CSS transition component that we are importing. So it's the int takes in a truth value, which is going to be the condition for it to render this menu, and it also takes in another value, which is on mat on exit. What this simply does, it remove the children of the CSS transition component when they are not active. So also we have another one, which is the timeout. The timeout is going to set the duration for the animation to take place, and this is going to be let's say 500, which is 500 milliseconds. And lastly, we're going to put in another prox, which is a class name. So we can set this to be any name of our choice. So we're going to use this class name later when we are creating the animation for the component. So how does this CSS transition normally works? It doesn't directly create the animation for us. What it simply does is that it looks for its immediate child or immediate children of the component, which is this div, and what it simply does is that it add or remove a class or CSS classes that we are going to define later to this div based on the animated state, which is the state of the in. So when the in is true, it adds in some CSS class that we're going to define later, and when the in is false, which it will remove the component, it also adds in some other classes. So what it does is just to add and remove class to the immediate children div based on the state of the in condition check. So we find 4 classes, which we're going to prefix with the CSS class, with the class name component props, which is this may. Copy this may, and we're going to prefix the may.enter may dash may can't type. Alright, these are the 4 classes that we are defining to control the CSS transition. So these are the classes that the CSS transition component is going to add or remove to this current div based on the change in the state which we pass into the in. So it doesn't may enter active to the CSS to the class name, and when this not active, it's add the exit and exit active to the CSS to the class name of the menu. So we're going to define this CSS. Alright, see, I defined the style already for the transition. On enter, I give it a position of absolute, top 0, left 0, transition, transform, translate, minus 310 pixel, which was 300 was the initial height of the drop down item. Also on active, we set the width to 100% and the transform to 0. We give it the transition all. On exit, position is also absolute, left 0, top 0. On exit active, we give it a width of 100% and also a transform of minus 350. I have to play with this value to actually get it right. So also give it a z-distance of minus 1 so that it will slide behind the navbar. If not, it will be sliding up above the navbar, covering the nick and all. Alright, so we'll give it a transition also. So we've defined this class just our file. Note that this in props is already checking for the state change, so it's already creating a toggle effect that we need, so we don't need for us to recheck again. So we have to take out this open and none, so we just pass in the props the children. So the in is already creating the check, the truth or false check for us for the children of this component to render. So once we save and save every other file, we'll head over to our CSS. Alright, let's refresh. You can see the drop down sliding from the top. You click it, sliding back. Alright, so you can see the sliding and slide out animation. Alright, so that's all for this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for more React tutorials are coming, and other tutorials are also coming on this channel. So hit the notification button so you get notified whenever I post content on this channel. Thank you.